1933 it was invented. It's received so many like design awards. It's in a number of museums because the design's pretty ingenious. It was invented by Alfonso Bialetti, I believe the name is, if I'm pronouncing it right. That's why if you see Moka Pot, you'll usually see it's a Bialetti Moka Pot. They were the first ones to do it. It's invented in 1933, and the name came from after a city called Mocha, just spelled differently, M-O-C-H-A instead of M-O-K. You have your bottom chamber here, and this is where you actually put the water in. So you would put your water into the bottom chamber here, and then you would put your coffee here, so a little container for the coffee, and it has a funnel shape, so a funnel on the bottom. So you put the coffee, so you have the water in, then you put the coffee in here, and a little tough to see, but see if I can get a close-up of it. If you can see, right, there's all these holes here. So what that will do is when the water heats up and it gets to a certain boiling point, it'll create pressure because the water evaporates, create pressure, has nowhere to go, and then through those tiny holes that water will be forced through the coffee. And then finally you have the third part, which is this guy. This guy's the top part right here, and this also has even tinier holes. You can see that. And a rubber gasket, so it has a tight seal. And so I'm just going to put it here loosely because I'm still drying mine because I made coffee with it earlier. But also this top part, which is where you would serve the coffee out of, has another funnel here. So you're forcing all that hot water, that pressure, that coffee, using pressure to come out through that little spigot. It says it makes espresso. I would disagree because it's not enough pressure to make espresso. So the coffee is somewhere between, like, as far as strength goes and like concentration, it's lies somewhere in the middle between espresso, because it's not enough pressure to make true espresso, and something like a French press. It's like right in between. So it's like stronger than a French press, but not as strong as espresso, if I'm making any sense right now. But that's how I would describe it. And you can make a really good cup of coffee out of it. First off, fill this guy, instead of cold water, have a kettle and fill it with already boiling water. Why are we going to do that? Because if we fill it with already hot water, when we put it on the stove, all we need to do is create enough pressure for extraction. We won't prematurely heat the coffee. And that's one of the reasons why you might get a really acidic cup, is because as you have water, cold water here on the stove, you're waiting for the water to heat up to create enough pressure, but then you're also, at the same time, heating up the coffee. So if you have already boiling water in here, you're going to avoid that. So have already boiling water in here from a kettle. Then put your coffee in, put that in, have a towel, because touching this is going to be extremely hot, have a towel and screw this guy on last, right? So now you already have hot water, you have coffee, and then you're just screwing this on. What is that going to do? It's going to, again, help prevent you prematurely heating up the coffee. But the other thing to keep in mind is that now when you put it on the stove, put it on like medium-low to low heat. When you put it on the stove now, since the water's already hot, all you're going to try and do is just create enough pressure to extract the coffee. So once you do that, really keep an eye on this, because you're going to have to watch it. It's not a set it and forget it type thing. But what will happen is you'll start seeing coffee come out the top spigot here. So give a little close-up of that. Start to see coffee come out. What you want to do is watch it. Because with Bialetti, or I should say just Bialetti, Moka Pots in general, start to see coffee come out, then towards the end they'll start to like gurgle and sputter. And what you want to do is as soon as you hear that sputtering sound, or as soon as you see that, instead of like waiting for it to end, because again you might over extract the coffee, as soon as you hear that sputtering sound, take this guy, and then what you're going to want to do is get it off the stove as soon as you hear that, and what you want to do is angle it. So have cold water running in your sink and angle it, and have the cold water only hitting this. You can make cafe drinks. So like if you like, cappuccinos or lattes or whatnot, all you need is a small French press and some heated milk. Heat up in the microwave. That's how I make like cappuccinos and lattes. And all you need is a French press to actually create enough air. And so with this and a French press, you can make cafe drink pot. And this is not an actual like Moka pot. It's not a Bialetti Moka. The reason why is because if you see a lot of imitators out there, the patent for the Bialetti Moka ran out. So it's part of like the public domain, I guess, as far as the patent goes. So that's why like legally there's so many competitors making like quote unquote knockoff like Bialetti Mokas. Like this one was a little bit cheaper. Just do your research, make sure it's reputable. This one was Roche is the name of this company. This is the one I use. I've had good experience